Well, you could go back. You could choose that. Yeah. Are you over 18?
Yeah.
Okay, you could go back. So yeah, you do have a choice.
So you're
Boom.
telling me I should...
4 in a row. 4 in a row.
You're not at anything.
Yeah, I've dominated you this whole time, dude.
You
look at those
haven't.
slides with
Your
socks.
idea of domination.
No, dude, we're not gonna
is
do
nothing.
this, dude. What?
Okay.
I
you
can
wanna know
only
why I'm
imagine. Are you on
slides?
antidepressants?
No.
How many times have you been vaccinated, young man?
What?
How many times have you been vaccinated?
Like 3, because I've had COVID.
But did you have Moderna? You look like you have the Moderna. Like,
How would you know the difference?
just the way your forehead is kind of enlarged.
Hey, excuse me?
What are you doing? What
Excuse
are you
me?
doing? You want to come up here? Big booty
Excuse
Latinas
me.
are allowed.
I'm talking.
What do you find? Here, say it in the mic. Say it in the mic. Say it in
Hey,
the mic.
excuse me?
Pretty disrespectful at the end of the day that you're trying to pull personal things and trying to pull roasts and stuff and trying to do clickbait. At the end of the day, when you don't have anything intellectual to say, anything that you've said at the end of the day, it's not intellectual whatsoever. You sound dumb. You sound ignorant. Everything that you've possibly said has had no...
Well, I don't want you deported. I know you're an illegal immigrant, but I.
American citizen.
Well, let's see your green card. I don't.
Excuse me.
Tom Homan, I think you have a green card.
I have an...
Or do you have a green card?
Goddamn business.
It's none of your business. That's
Well, it is if you're here illegally.
an American citizen, so I have the right to come and speak to you. So for you to be able to even possibly try to bring in anything in regards to personal aspects, when in reality you're trying to debate about something like this, it shows to show that you're ignorant.
You have no right to other people's personal information. Why do you think you do?
You're in the debate dome.
That does not give you a right.
Yeah, when I'm the president in this dome, so yes.
That's why he comes
I'm the president of the debate dome, so I'm sorry, but that's just a harsh reality.
I don't know how to be a president.
Listen, if it's so good, go back to Ukraine. No, the BBL, come here and argue some more.
1994, U.S. and Ukraine. Look up the Budapest Memorial.
Wait, why do you like
You're
Ukraine
not-
so much?
Don't listen to him.
Ukraine so much? Okay, yes. Yeah!
Look it
5
up.
and 0! 5 and 0!
Ukraine.
5 and 0!
Of Alliance for Security.
Don't hurt about it.
I'm so fly, I'm aligned with the planes. My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself why would I make time for you lames? At all costs, cause I'm a boss. But break them off, yeah, gotta break them off.
Hi, and welcome to Prime Time with Alex Stein. My name is Nathan Beeman, and as you can see, Alex has lost the case of Alexander Stein versus the Dallas County, County of Dallas. Gonna keep your mouth shut, aren't you, Alex?
No, I'm not! I'm sick and tired of this bull crap! And I don't want to cuss because we do have a rabbi on with us. Before I actually get mad, let me welcome, you saw Nathan Beeman, but let me welcome on my two attorneys. I felt like I was in To Kill a Mockingbird, and I had Atticus Finch in the courtroom with me, defending me. And you guys both have your different Atticus Finch traits. So I want to welcome on Eden Quainton and my very good friend and attorney, John Gross. Fellows, welcome to the show. So as the audience just learned from my very good friend, Nathan. What? Oh, shoot, yeah, sorry, I'm messing with my mic, sorry. We had a very bad day in court. But for me, even though we took the L, I feel like we took it in style. So I just want to say thank you to you guys, to Eden, to John, because there's not a lot of attorneys that would come out here and represent me, and you guys did, because you guys not only care about the First Amendment, but you guys care about doing the right thing. And that's the difference between you and the prosecuting attorneys that want to limit free speech. You guys actually respect the Constitution. So, Eden, what is your, summary of the past 3 days?
Well, it was exhausting. Actually, I thought we were going to win. I'll be honest with you.
I did too.
And I said we had a zone of positivity. And unfortunately, your dad showed up. And
My dad. Okay, guys, we have to take this is. And my dad, I think he's here somewhere, babe. Will you go find him? Literally, we would win this court case if it wasn't for my dad. And
it's definitely your dad.
It's my dad. He lost us a case.
He pierced the zone of positivity.
Negative vibrational energy.
Everybody had it. I had it. John had it. You had it. Your dad showed up, and it was just like. It pierced it.
The jury felt it.
Well, no, everybody felt it. The universe felt it.
The universe did feel it.
Seriously, there was, something happened and the energy oozed out.
It did. It is my dad's fault. But John, I just want to say thank you because this has been a 3-year process this whole entire time. And unfortunately, it sucks that this happened, but now we have to appeal it. And now this process is not over. I was hoping and praying for that closure and that we could just go to sleep as victorious. Not even, and we were only asking for nominal damages. So it's not like we were trying to hit some sort of payday or anything like that. We were just trying to defend the First Amendment, which not only do I find very important, but obviously Eden and John do. So John, you know, this has been a long process. You've had a lot of uphill battles when it comes to your experience in federal court with all the January 6ers you have faced. So what was kind of the difference? Like, how would you, I know this is a civil trial, so it was a little less intense, but how would you describe our case versus the typical January 6th case you handled?
Yeah, I mean, look, January 6th, there was 100% certainty that we would lose every case.
So you knew, I'm just saying, you
There
knew.
was no chance. I mean, we didn't even, I mean, we were there in court just to make the government fight for it and to get stuff onto the record for historical purposes. And, but I mean, when I would go to the jury, I would just say to the jury, like, we know how you're voting. I had a juror in one of my cases who was on a previous January 6th jury.
How is that even possible?
I know. I mean,
Wait, that sat and gave
that
a
actually
verdict?
happened. Yeah, that actually happened. I said to the judge, you can't allow this. And he's like, why not? I don't see why she can't be fair and impartial. She said she can. So those cases were ridiculous. Our judge in this case, conversely, was very fair. Sidney
Fitzwater
was extremely fair. And I believed that we were going to win. I really did. I thought that, I think at the end of the day, and I said this, you know, I mean, I want to tell the audience this, that when I quit my job to fight this kind of stuff, I did January 6th, and then I made a list of people who were First Amendment warriors. You were at the top of it, and I called you up. It was in like, I want to say 2022. It was, I think in March or April of 2022.
Okay.
And I said, you're going to need a lawyer. And you said, yes, I will.
Yes.
And then that was April. And then you were thrown out in May, like 4 weeks later. And we filed this lawsuit. So that's how we met. And it's really come full circle. It's been 3 years. We've been through a lot together. We have, you know, a lot of stuff going on. And I just, from the very beginning, I knew, I think, that this was a Rorschach test.
Yeah.
That if we had this in Idaho, I think with a different jury from a different voting bloc, I think that it would have gone in our way. And I think that, you know, certain percentage of the population looks at a video like the one that was at issue here, and they just say, I don't want to live in a country where politicians have this unbridled discretion to throw people out, and then a certain part of the country says, I don't want to live in a country with Alex Stein. So, so you know.
That is true. And this is the thing is, Eden, you are a genius. You speak 5 different languages. You're Ivy League educated. And this is the only knock is that you're a very brilliant person. And every single person on that jury, I don't even think had a high school GED. So do you think that sometimes it hurts you that you're almost too smart when you're dealing with, you know, I guess people that aren't as educated and smart as you?
Well, thanks. I don't know. I don't think intelligence had anything to do with it, to be honest. I think that
If it did, you would've
politics had a lot to do
Yeah, if it did, we would have won, though. If they were intelligent, we would have won. Nate has a good point.
I think, look, we had 7 women
Yeah.
and 1 man. There were 6 black women, 1 white woman, and 1 white man. We could have had 7 women that I went to college with at Yale. They would have come out exactly the same way.
So you're saying you lost because you had all those black people stacked against you?
No, wait a minute, do not. Eden's a very powerful attorney,
You
Nate.
didn't even see. You're like the fucking jury.
Yeah, Eden, oh my gosh, now we're all going to get canceled. No, but this is the thing with this jury is if we want to be honest, if I would have walked in there and I was a person of color, we would have won this case slam dunk.
It never would have gone to trial.
It never would have gone to trial. I mean, I'm not trying to be a victim, but it was hard. It's hard for a white male to come across as a victim, even if you see it on camera. You know what I mean? It was hard to sell. We had an uphill battle from the start, even though the evidence was clear on tape.
It wasn't just, candidly, it wasn't just that it was a white male.
A crazy white male?
It was a crazy white male.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that there was a certain percentage of the population, I agree with John, they just were not going to believe that you have a right to speak. And that's why I took this case on, because I don't care who you are. I mean, I like you.
Yeah.
In fact, I like you a lot. But I don't care who you are. I think you have a right to speak. And I thought that an average person of whatever background would get that. And I guess the cookie didn't crumble that way for us.
You overestimated the population, and that's what I learned through the pandemic, that people are not very smart, including myself. I'm not saying that I'm Albert Einstein. I'm just saying, in general, people don't want to read. People don't want to, I guess, look into things deeply. So I guess when it came to our jury, they didn't respect the First Amendment, or maybe they just didn't like me because I was a crazy white guy. So, John, what's next, though? How do we, what direction do we head next, in your opinion, John?
Well, we'll file a notice of appeal, which just tells the court that we intend to appeal. And then we'll see what grounds we have for appeal. We have to review the record. We have to review a lot of things and figure out what our strategy will be. So we can reserve that right. So we'll do that immediately.
So that'll just give us the ability, once we come up with an argument, to submit that. So, guys, the fight is not over. But, man, Eden, after this, I mean, it's just such an emotional... I'm an emotional roller coaster. You've been cool like a cucumber. How do you handle this? I mean, I know that this wasn't a criminal case, so it's not... I guess the stakes aren't necessarily as high because nobody's facing jail time, but I felt like I was going to vomit before the jury came out.
Listen, Alex, I thought we had the better case. I thought we had the better legal team. I mean, and I'm not saying that with sort of false modesty or false pride or whatever. I really think we had the better team. But at the end of the day, I think we just could not convince this particular group of people that you had a right to speak.
You're right.
I think they believe, seeing other videos, that you just don't have a right to do the kind of stunts that you do.
I think you're right.
That's what they think.
I think so.
And
Well, what I'm hearing is that you guys lost.
Yes, we lost, Nate.
So obviously, I guess the government's always right? That's the point, right?
The government, well, I just want to say that you started with Atticus Finch. Atticus Finch, if you read To Kill a Mockingbird,
I didn't.
He lost.
You need to read To Kill a Mockingbird.
You need to read a book.
You need to go read To Kill a... Nate's not seeing The Big Lebowski. He didn't read To Kill a Mockingbird, which is required reading in every school in the country, I think.
Not anymore, because it says the N-word.
Oh, they took it off the required reading list? That was
Half the kids in my middle school said the N-word, and they didn't kick him out.
I know, and that was my favorite paragraph in the whole book. It taught me a lot about, racial sensitivities or racial sensitivities.
But I want to say that, I'm Alex Stein's lawyer, so it's no surprise that I would take a case like this. But Eden is a very accomplished,
a very accomplished,
Quainton Law, very high-end law firm that typically doesn't do these kinds of things as their bread and butter. But Eden came on with me for a few January 6 cases, and he came on this case, even though he knew, as I did, that there was a great possibility that not only would this case it could lose, but also that even if we won, there wasn't going to be a lot of money at the end of the rainbow for the two of us. But a lot of people, they wouldn't take this case not only because there wasn't money, but also because they don't want an L on their record.
Yeah.
And I think that's, the real fights are the ones that we fight that we know we're going to lose, but we're going to make the government fight for it.
I agree. And this, like I kept saying this, and I think the jury probably thought I was virtue signaling, but guys, free speech is literally under attack. So I didn't go to court with these great attorneys in order to just protect my right to speak. I was trying to protect everybody's right to speak freely. But unfortunately, we learned that in the county commissioner's court that Clay Jenkins, even if he had a past arrest that was 40 years ago, and it is pertinent to a current election that was going on, they can still limit our ability to criticize publicly elected officials. So that's not the world I want to live in. And now that I've been a victim of it, I hope that we can actually spread some awareness. But one big victory for me, this is a personal victory, is now the Dallas Morning News and all these people are now going to look into what was said in that court case. And now Clay Jenkins is going to have some people looking for the skeletons in his closet. And I think there are some skeletons. So, Eden, what do you think about Clay Jenkins and John Wiley Price, not on the witness stand, but like, what do you think? Do you think that they actually respect the First Amendment?
don't.
I don't either.
I actually don't think they respect the First Amendment. I think it's very result-driven. And again, Wiley Price did not think you had a right to speak. His mind was made up. You came on, and we played this for the jury, over and over again, and they just did not get it. But you came on and you showed an article, and all you said was, I want to know more about what this article is about. And he said, you're done. You're finished. You're finished. He said that you're finished. Marshals, get him out of here. That was it. Now, that was a winnable case. It really was, because that's not, as John said, that's not the country we want to live in. But for a certain segment of the population, Alex Stein, or the Alex Steins of the world, as they, perceive them in a kind of I guess, a false perception of reality, don't have the right to speak. And it was right, they think, to silence you.
And I'm going to have to leave in a minute to catch my flight, but I want to say that one of the arguments they kept making was there's a time and place. So he could go to the park
And
when
yell.
nobody's there
Yeah.
and yell at the trees about Clay Jenkins, but he can't come to the commissioner's court.
That was
and do
their
that.
argument, literally. They're like, oh,
And-
Alex Stein in a park can say whatever he wants, but if he wants to talk to the county commissioner, he can't say whatever.
So one of the things that I've been looking into challenging, I almost had a good case to do this, was these free speech zones, where at a federal park or something like that, they'll have a place that's called, or at a place where there's a rally going on, they'll have a free speech zone that's in the middle of nowhere that nobody can see you. So they say, oh yeah, you could protest all you want in that area. And those free speech zones, they're basically made so that you cannot have free speech.
Exactly. Okay, but real quick, because John has to go. And John, we spent 3 days together. I'll be seeing you soon. I really, I mean this. I love you like a brother. But real quick, before you go, can you pull up my computer real quick? John, I need to get your honest opinion. Now, this is the conspiracy, and I hope this doesn't get Eden in any trouble. There's a rumor going around that the Pope will be pronounced dead on March 13th, which is tomorrow, John. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about the Pope dying?
Yes, as a Jewish man. Are you happy, sad? How does that...
So he wears a yarmulke like me.
Does he?
So I feel, yeah, of course. Pull up the picture again. He's wearing a yarmulke.
Oh, he is wearing a yarmulke!
Yeah, he wears a yarmulke, so I feel kinship with him, I think. So
You're going to be sad.
I'm gonna be sad,
Look at
yeah.
the conspiracy real quick. March 13th was the day when Francis became the Pope, and it might be his last day as Pope as well. The papacy. Jimmy, how do you pronounce that?
Papacy.
Papacy. And now there is a concept of the integral age, where it was believed that prophets and other holy men died on the same day they were born, or according to some accounts, the day they were conceived. So there also happens to be a blood moon on the night of March 13th. The Bible mentions the blood moon as a sign of the end times. Some people also believe the blood moon is a sign of bad luck. So do you think tomorrow we're going to find out the Pope is gone?
I think it's Beware the Ides of March, right? The 15th is the day that is usually for the killings. So
This is why we asked the Jewish guys. Jewish guys know more about the Bible than Christians, right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's
your opinion.
Shakespeare, actually.
Oh.
Opinion as a Jewish guy, but I want to know how you feel about this, the Pope's death as a litigator.
As a litigator?
Yeah.
Well, if the family wants to hire us for wrongful death, then they know where to find us.
They got a great one. No, so Eden, you speak 5 different languages. How the hell did you? Oh, are you getting out of here, John?
Yeah,
Oh my God, you gotta go, John. Give me a hug, brother. Oh my God, you did such a great job. I'll see you soon. I love this man. I love this man. Everybody, go follow John Gross. He's a great,
Very nice to meet you.
great guy.
Yes, good.
All right, yeah,
Thank
Nate,
you.
you can get on there. All right, and try not to hurt Eden. Now, Eden, I really want to tell you how much I appreciate you, because I haven't been able to formally tell you that it was an honor and a privilege to even get to do this with you. And I know we didn't get the result we wanted, but I have no doubt in my mind that had anything to do with your performance.
Well, thanks. It was an honor and privilege to work with you. And by the way, I think there are a number of athletes, I can't think them off the top of my head, who started out with some defeats.
Yes.
But, hey, turn it around and got a winning record at.
That is true. And that's another thing is, and I do believe this in life, you kind of have to be successful, to truly be successful in life, you have to have some failure. And you can't just automatically be successful from the start, because in theory, I don't think you would be ready for that success unless you face some sort of hardship or failure. So I think that this is just part of the journey of where we want to go. So Eden, you got another big case. I know you can't talk about all your cases, but you're obviously going to Houston to handle that. When it comes to cases, though, what is like one of the craziest cases that comes to mind that you litigated that you still kind of feel sick in your stomach about? Because I feel sick about this, not you, but I'm still a little like, gosh, I'm still a little nauseous for a weird way.
Well, so I thought you were going to ask how I got to know Jonathan. And that goes to your question about a crazy case. And the two are connected. So a mutual friend of ours was involved in the Seth Rich litigation.
Yeah, that was huge. Oh, yes, we know that. And Seth Rich was a DNC staffer who worked for Bernie Sanders, who died under, kind of weird circumstances. He was robbed in Washington, D.C., but he still had his phone and his Rolex, I believe, which is unusual for a robbery.
Very unusual for a robbery. And I was really interested in the whole Seth Rich situation, speaking Russian and being subjected like the rest of the country to the whole Russia hoax. I was just interested in the Seth Rich angle.
Yeah.
Was there something there? I thought that was a legitimate story, and it became something you couldn't even talk about. And eventually this mutual friend was defending somebody in the Seth Rich space who had been, just talking about the Seth Rich story. He was accused of defamation. And so I got involved in that case. And
but who was he guilty of defaming, or who was accused of defaming?
so my client, actually a guy named Ed Butowski, who's also from Texas, was a Texas financier, and he had been talking about Seth Rich and his brother Aaron Rich.
Trying to expose the truth about what happened.
The truth,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And not saying anything defamatory.
Not saying anything defamatory, but there's a lot of unanswered questions.
A lot of unanswered questions. There's kind of a bar in D.C. that takes on cases sort of pro bono, supposedly pro bono, very high end. These are $2,000 an hour lawyers, and they take on these cases pro bono, basically for the Democratic establishment. And maybe it's pro bono technically, but it's a huge...
But they're paid by what, like some NGO,
Well, they get client referrals, I think is how it really works. It brings in great business for the firms that they work for. So we had that firm up that we were going up against. And the feeling I have in the pit of my stomach, it was a great case, very interesting. I mean, the whole ins and outs of the Seth Rich case. But you asked something, this feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Yeah.
We wound up settling that case. And I actually wanted to push it to trial, but we wound up settling just before Trump, quote unquote, lost in 2020. And the handwriting was on the wall that was going to go down. And I realized that if he did lose, we were going to get, this was in D.C.
Yeah, he was going to get...
We were going to get destroyed in front of a jury, just destroyed. So he had an insurance policy, and we decided to settle the case.
Wow, and you're still sick about it. But I talked about it on Stan. I don't know if this hurt me, but Nate, when they asked me, Eden asked me, he said, "What kind of podcast do you have?" And I said, my first podcast was called The Conspiracy Castle, and all of a sudden the jury kind of looks at me side-eye, like, Conspiracy Castle? Yeah. And then, like, what kind of conspiracies are you interested in? And first thing I was like, well, this one might appeal to the African Americans. I was like, I believe Michael Jackson was innocent. He was investigated by the FBI for 19 years. They never found him guilty of anything. So do you think that hurt my case, Nathan, knowing what you know, that I immediately came out the gate defending a...
pedophile? Just coming out the gate, so sympathizing with a pedophile probably didn't help you, especially against all those black people on your jury,
Yeah, now looking back, you're probably right. And I was like, Michael Jackson's not a pedophile, but they probably think he's a pedophile, right, Eden? They probably thought Michael Jackson is a kid toucher.
Probably, yeah.
Gosh almighty, I should not have defended Michael Jackson, but I still defend Michael Jackson. I will defend. This is the thing. You know what? We might have lost this case. I wish we could have recorded that, because if I could have sent my testimony to the Jackson estate, we probably got a free house, or you know what I mean? They would have let us go into Neverland for free.
Some of that old playground equipment they just have sitting around now.
You can ride it still. If you hook it up to power, they have a little roller coaster. Nate, have you ever been, you've been in some sort of legal troubles. We don't have to get into it, but I'm saying, have you ever been a victim of the law yourself? Like, ever been unfairly prosecuted, do you feel like?
I mean, unfairly prosecuted is one word. I did something, it was against the law, I faced the consequences of it. Was I put in certain situations where there were pressures that kind of led me to make that decision? Yes. Were they social? Yes. Was it something that it is justified and defined by the law and how we're going with it?
Yeah, but oh my gosh, you sound institutionalized. You sound like one of my jurors. You fuck the law. I hate laws. I know, and I know there's probably jurors watching this, but I'm not saying we shouldn't live in a system with rules that we should have, but it's like, I feel like the system is designed to work against us and not work for us. And that was the biggest takeaway that I had from this meeting, is that when you go to these public meetings and a public official wants to limit your free speech, that is just a clear dictionary definition of politicians working against the American people instead of for the American people. So do you think that, at least I learned a big lesson from this, but Eden, I want to ask you, do you think John Wiley Price and Clay Jenkins learned anything from this experience?
That they can get away with it.
So you think they'll be more emboldened to censor?
I think they will. I think John Wiley Price's conduct was over the line. Clearly just shutting somebody down without even giving them a chance to begin to express their point of view is not consistent with the First Amendment. In any form, limited public forum, open public forum, it's not consistent. But the jury said it was. And so he's going to be kind of power drunk, I think.
Yeah, he was drunk on something. Now, I mean, Nathan, we just took a tough loss, and I know you have had a tough life. I've had a tough life. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so, Nathan, can you say something that will help me get through this? Like, what do you do when you're down and out?
Just keep your head down and hope nobody sticks it where it shouldn't be. You know, I don't know. Just I don't know. Just stay strong, Alex. We're all victims. We're all victims of this gut. And I don't disagree with what you said earlier. I think we should burn this mother down.
We should burn this mother down. Dad, come here real quick. You don't have a mic. Hurry. Hurry, just real quick, just sit down because you don't have a mic. Okay, Dad, I just want to say me and Eden have something very important we want to say to you. We were talking before we started the show, and we were coming up, we were hypothesizing why we lost this case, and we figured out it was 100% your negativity, and we didn't lose today. Can you just admit that it is your fault that we lost this case?
I had a lot of negativity. I thought that the odds were against us because of the political makeup of the jury, and the deck was stacked. No, not that. Just
women, because women.
The deck was stacked against us in Dallas County for two political figures that overwhelmingly won, and they had a lot of voters, and some of those people could have been voters of theirs. It was just a bad deal.
Well, I mean, Alex, remind me your father's name, please.
Rhett.
Rhett, please. It's nice to see you again, Rhett. It's now you may be the reason that you lost the case, right? Your father may have made you lose the case.
He is, and he dropped me as a baby. That's why I have water on my brain, and that's oftentimes why I act out and have behavioral issues. But go ahead.
Alex, both of those things are a fact, but at least your dad is a man who makes things happen.
Yeah, he does. He does make things happen.
Rhett gets things done.
Yeah, he does.
That's what we need in these spaces.
He hustles and grinds. So, Eden, can you tell my dad, as my current attorney, and we might not see each other for a little bit, can you tell him in an official court matter that if he does not calm down, I'm going to sue him? Will you tell him that?
I will, Rhett, I've got to say that I had this zone of positivity that I worked very hard to build up. And I was building that up and carrying that. I think you saw me, in fact.
Absolutely.
For 3 days. Absolutely. It was unpierceable. It was impregnable, if that's the right word. You couldn't get through it. And you showed up, and all these cracks started emerging. Right. It was remarkable. I mean, the prosecutor, the opposing counsel couldn't do it. The judge couldn't do it. Something about Rhett, you pierced it.
Well, sometimes it's hard to face your reality and hear the reality when you're in a zone meditating out, and the facts are the facts. Y'all just had a...
Yeah, but real quick.
I will say this. I've been around courts for 50 years, and this is one of the best attorneys that I've ever seen, without question. And John did a great job, but this man is as good as they get. You could not have a better attorney ever, in my opinion. He's absolutely excellent.
And I mean that. Like I said, the only complaint I have with Eden, this is the only complaint, is that you're too smart. I'm just saying that the jury didn't understand. And I think you dumbed it down. I'm not saying
Alex, I don't think so. I think he did a...
No, I do. I'm just saying he was just so smart.
The jury makeup was just so...
Well, there's one time where he used the word germane, and I know what that means. But do you think the jury knows something that is germane to something? And germane means related to, or it's important to. Germane is a word that it describes germane better, but it means something that's very important to something.
Yeah, to the point,
But you were very fortunate, the counsel that you had, John. John's excellent. John, the fighter, he cares about you. He's your friend.
We know that. We know that. You lost us a case. It's not them.
Yeah, but what we're saying...
It's your fault, Dad.
Eden was just too smart for a jury full of women and black people. And
I don't think he was.
I think he was.
I think he related to him.
I'm going to distance myself completely from this.
No, I know. So he disagrees. So
I totally disagree with that, by the way.
Okay, he disagrees.
I think very, very high IQ people could have come out exactly the same way.
That's true.
I think it's highly political.
I don't disagree with you.
Definitely highly political.
I went, as you said, I went to Yale, and I can guarantee you that there are 7 women that I would have gone to college with who could have been on that jury. I could have made the exact same arguments to them with the exact same emotional appeal, the exact same intellectual appeal. They would have come out the exact same way because they just don't like Alex Stein. That's not the way it should be. That's why I took on this case.
No question, he's the least empathetic person in that court.
He did a great job. No. He did. No, Rhett, I'm going to disagree with you again. The zone of negativity here. He did a great job. He came on a little bit, let's say, had a hard time reining.
I was a little hot at the beginning. I came in a little hot.
I thought he recovered very well.
He was excellent. I mean, the second half of Alex's testimony was great.
But I think they didn't see the real Alex because they saw those films that didn't really characterize
Well, that's
who
true.
he.
Yeah,
That's
they
it.
did a character assassination, people. If you're watching this,
It was character assassination. And I told the jury, I said, they're going to do character assassination on Alex Stein. Watch out for that. That's exactly what they did. And it was over the line, over the top. At one point, I've never seen this in a court and I've been doing this for 30 years. I've never seen this. The opposing counsel started yelling at Alex. He lost his cool completely. He starts yelling at you, Alex. And I don't know if Alex was hamming it up or not, but it was a moment in the courtroom. And Alex said, I'm having a heart attack.
I'm having a heart issue, which I kind of was.
I had to get up to the judge and say, Judge,
He
it was a panic attack.
a panic attack because I've been around him a long time.
Well, I wanted to yell back. And so I was kind of like, oh.
I wanted to stop the whole thing because that was, so I
5 minutes was the best thing.
So I asked for an adjournment. We got the adjournment, and then you came back, and you were excellent after that. You were excellent.
Yeah, because I had raised all my adrenaline, so I kind of had that, that post-adrenaline rush.
Got under that guy's skin. Something you said, I don't know what it was, but that was not just acting. I mean, he was just triggered by you, and I don't even know what you said.
So, Eden, it was when he said, it's funny because we sued Plano and they actually settled.
Oh,
That's
we
what
settled,
triggered him.
right.
Yeah.
You said we settled, and that threw him over the top.
Yeah, I was adding some stuff. I was just trying to be a little loquacious on the witness stand, but it didn't work. But Eden, you did a great job. I did a great job. Dad, you told me that I was going to be held in contempt and arrested, so it's probably your fault. Will you take the blame?
I'm not going to take the blame.
No, take the blame. I have to take the blame.
I was just glad I was there to support you, and you came out okay. And this is going to be a hopeful, a wonderful learning experience. We're going to look in the front windshield and not the rearview mirror and learn from this. To learn, you had to pick your places and pick your fights. And it's just,
You advocated for cameras in the courtroom, and I think that's another cause I would fight for, because if we had cameras in that courtroom, the kind of attacks that you were facing would not have happened.
Oh, I agree.
That guy would not have felt emboldened to jump down your throat like that and humiliate you in front of the jury. I mean, I thought that was going to backfire. I thought in any other context.
No, they believed him, and he humiliated me. He said that Alex Stein is famous on social media, and then he goes into social media. Isn't social media so toxic? And then he basically insinuated that, isn't it so terrible that people like Mr. Stein can use social media to
Wipe that smirk off your face.
Yeah, he goes, wipe that smirk off your face. And I would have thought that some of those women on their on the damn jury would have liked social media. I know they all had social media accounts, so when he started bashing the fact that I'm well known on social media, I thought that would help us, but it did not. So, Nate, you, as the resident child on the show, what do you think about us older people kind of yelling at each other? What is your impression of what happened today?
I mean, I love yelling. I think it's probably, my personal journey with it is the moment I open my mouth or raise my voice, I know that I've lost. But for you guys, I know you lost, and that's okay. You know
It's
what I
not
mean?
okay. It's not okay.
It's okay. Again, like what your dad said, he said you're going to look in the front window and not look back. I have a question for you, Eden. I keep hearing that Ray's. We've established that Ray's negative, but what I keep hearing.
Rhett. No, it's fine. Rhett. No, it's okay. Don't cuss. Don't cuss. Well, we can cuss. I don't care. But yes, Rhett. You can call him.
I get mad when I don't remember people I like's names. I'm very
Just call
sorry.
him. Just call him Papa Stein. Call him, whatever. Papa
Stein.
Whatever.
You established his negative, but what I'm hearing is that you allowed him to permeate your positive bubble. So why did respectfully, you're a very smart man, very educated lawyer, but why did you do that?
That is a weakness. You're absolutely right. I let him get into my zone of positivity, and maybe there was some doubt underlying my own zone of positivity that I hadn't been aware of before that. He exposed my own weakness.
He did.
Eden,
he did expose your own weakness because you were able to tell me because there was multiple times where Eden was preparing for this case and he said, basically, Alex, get out of here. Shut up, Alex. He didn't say shut up, Alex, but he basically, Alex, leave me alone right now. There was a few times where he did it. And what did I do? I left you alone. I didn't bug you. And you did not have the ability, I think, to tell my dad to leave you alone.
I
did tell me.
He did?
Yeah, I gave him some space. And then we had some great talks, and I gave him some space. He was very much of a gentleman. He was extra.
did that once, yeah.
He was very much of a gentleman.
Oh, and then guess what? We also found out that through eminent domain, they're also going to take the house that I grew up in my whole entire life. So today's been a great day. We're going to lose my childhood home, and I lost my federal lawsuit. But
Alex, I have a
What?
quick question for you.
What?
Well, they talked about the Michael Jackson thing. Do you think you should have quoted Aretha Franklin like the?
I
like
know
the
who's
lawyer?
zooming who. What song is that?
So the defense lawyer said, as Aretha Franklin said, "Who's zooming who?"
He said that, and then he did, and not only that, he said on the closing argument, he said "baby back biatch" 10 different times, like quoting me. I don't know. I feel like bitch. The word bitch. I know it's not a very good sounding word, but it's the same word for a female dog. Like you should be able to say, if you can say bitch on TV, why can't you say it in a city council meeting? What do you think, Dan?
I mean, I don't find that to be a derogatory word. Like I say, dogs are called that, but public it's whatever the public is, general public. Just he used that word civility a lot, and I think people thought that those settings should be a little bit more, not so rambunctious and not so. It went to the civility word.
Yeah, that's because those people are not. Those
Brett,
people,
I think that was a smokescreen. I don't think it had anything to do with civility. I think
But he used that word.
he used that word a lot, but I think really what it was, they didn't like his position on transgenderism, and they didn't like his position on the vaccine. They thought basically things that we might find funny, the vaccine wrapping situation, they found that to be offensive because they don't, there are people on the vaccine, we all lived through this, you would live through this, right?
Yeah.
People who didn't want to take the vaccine were ostracized, they were ridiculed, they weren't accepted into polite society or any society. And you had a group of people who probably all were heavily pro-vax.
Yeah.
You were there. And that
you know what I was thinking
that
now?
was such a triggering issue for people. I tried to screen them out. You saw that in voir
Yes,
dire.
you did. You did go through that. But now looking back, one of the jurors that had kind of a mean scowl on her face the whole time, the one that was on the far left, they might have been trans. Did you notice that?
I didn't consider that.
I'm now looking back, I'm thinking like, we need to look at what their first name was because I think there might have been a trans.
Well, I will give you this. When I saw the names, I thought it was 8 women. And it turned out that there was the one man.
Farland, I remember his name.
He had,
Farland, if you're watching this, you did me dirty, Farland. I thought you'd have my back.
Farland, that sounded like a woman's name to me, but what do I know?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. I'm
Irish.
just, is that Irish?
Farland? I don't know. It just sounds like a name I've never heard before.
Well, I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight. I don't know. What are you going to do? How are you going to get over this, Eden? You're just not even going to sweat it, are you?
Well, I've got to go down to Houston for another case,
And that's a murder case?
murder case.
Oh, my God.
Eden's grinding.
It's a suicide murder mystery. It's an interesting case.
Well, it's funny. When I was I always talk about this. I was a graduate of the Citizens Police Academy. In the homicide division, actually, the majority of calls they respond to are suicides.
Well, it turns out that is true. It's overwhelmingly suicides, yeah.
Yeah,
Respond to.
and gun violence. Oftentimes, the numbers are inflated by people that kill themselves. So it's not like, oh, I'm shooting somebody at the 7-Eleven to steal from them. It's a lot of people that blow their brains out, and then it looks like it was a gun crime or gun violence. Yeah. So Eden, when you deal with my case and now you're going to a murder case, if you could choose what kind of case you want, like what kind of case do you like? I mean,
I'll be honest. The reason I took this case is I feel passionate about it.
yeah.
I mean, it has all the negatives, right? High chance of losing.
High profile too, so as you're going to be in the media.
So, but with someone who's frankly toxic, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, high chance of losing, no money, toxic
Not
client.
very much. I mean, none now. I mean,
Right.
gosh.
So there are like 3 strikes against me, and the reason I took it, I'll be honest with you, you saw me up there, and I believe in this.
You do believe in it.
And like I said, we may lose this one. Maybe we start out with an 0-1 record on this free speech stuff, but keep on fighting. We'll turn it around.
We do need to keep on fighting. I think that's the most important thing. And, Emmanuel, who was on the show last night, made such a good point. He said, a lot of people have tried to go against Clay Jenkins and John Wiley Price, but they don't have the attorneys to help them take it to the finish line. But I have 2 of the greatest attorneys in the United States of America that actually wanted to defend the right to speak freely and that are doing this, like he just said, they're doing this because they're passionate about this. Now, I could just say for myself, it's something I'm passionate about, but this is what the sad reality is. Eden, do you even think the majority of the population, at least Americans, do they even give a damn about the First Amendment?
Not the majority. I mean, I think my assumption is that most Americans, as like part of our DNA, we have this idea that you have a right to speak your mind. And yes, there may be rules in certain contexts, but you don't have, the government can't just shut you down. So it was kind of a sad day for me that we lost the case, because I do still believe most people have that. I'm not sure what tilted the scales here. Maybe it was just politics, but
That trans juror for sure.
The trans juror.
the trans juror might not have been a good thing. But I'll be honest. I think most people do kind of get the First Amendment at a gut level, but that's just me. I'm an idealist.
And so, Eden, what do you think the solution is for this? Like, no more trans people on juries, or
Yes, honestly, yeah. I mean, if you,
not supposed to use any trans people on jury? They like crime. They like legal shows too. I've seen them watch Suits.
That's true, but I'm pro transgenders in the military because they're really good at shooting in crowds. So I think that they would be really good if they were in the military. I mean, the last few mass shooters have been trans, but that's neither here nor there. That's just a coincidence. That's not actually a insult to transgender people. Most transgender people are nonviolent. But I'll tell you this much: we live in a society where there are rules, and I get that. But at the same time, if we were on trial, Eden, and they said that women couldn't speak at a city council meeting, if there was a rule that women couldn't speak,
Right.
we had the same case, they would understand that that's not a law that women can't speak, and we probably would have won. Do you think?
I do. I think that's an easier case. I think yours was a tough case because of that. I think it was winnable. And I hope we fight another case like this.
I do
another
too.
forum, because I think we're going to win these cases. And once you win one of these, it'll start to turn it around.
No, you're right. And we got a $20 super chat. What does that say, Jimmy? It says, a vote for free speech, biatch. Oh, wow, $31. Thank you, JL. We appreciate that.
And then there was a $20 one that expired from Cyrus. Say, we love Nathan Beeman.
Oh, yeah, Cyrus is great. We love Cyrus.
Cyrus, don't spend $20 to. I know him.
I know. I tell him all the time. I tell him, I'm like, dude, don't spend $20 on this. Come to a comedy show. But he gets to come into comedy shows free because he's a comedian. But my point is, I'm like, just save your 20. Send a $2 one. We'd still read it. We like you, Cyrus. Now, I want to get into one clip, and I want to. Eden, have you ever heard of height supremacy?
Height supremacy. I have not.
Well, it's kind of the idea that people that are tall think that they're better than somebody that's short. It's a pretty simple concept, right?
Yeah, I have heard of that.
Yeah. Well, this guy tried to I guess be a height supremacist to me, and he learned his lesson. So can we play SOT number 1, please? Yes, I like this guy. Come on. I'm 6'3". I'm 6'3". I'm taller than you. I'm taller than you. I'm taller than you. Let's see if you're the same height. Come on, let's see if you're the same height. Yeah. I'm Alex. Okay, let's see. Here. Let's see. I'm taller. Ooh, debate won. Let's see, I'm undefeated. These guys, they think they're taller than me. I'm taller. Have you ever dealt with a Puerto Rican?
No, I have not.
Let me tell you something. Don't. Stay away. Especially don't date a Puerto Rican woman. She'll cook you some of the most delicious rice and beans you ever had. Next thing you know, you wake up, there's a knife to your throat because you liked a woman's Instagram picture. So be very careful when you deal with Puerto Rican women. You heard that from someone with a lot of experience. Dad, what do you think about that? How am I so tall? You're tall. Was your mother tall?
No, but remember your uncle was very tall, Tommy.
Yeah, and my mom was tall.
Your mom was tall. Nobody on our side of the family was tall. I was the tallest one on our side.
You know what I hope? My cousins, I have 2 identical twins cousins. My cousins are identical twins. Eden, do you have any twins in your family?
I do not.
They say that that's a genetic thing. Did you know that, Dad?
I didn't know.
Yeah, they say that it is. So theoretically, when I knock up prepaid wireless over there, we could have twins. Don't say, "Oh my God," you would love it if I knocked you up. But we're not here to talk about that. Yeah, you're gonna have big, tall twins. They're gonna be tall, hairy twins.
I wish I could talk to a woman like that.
Oh, you can talk to them however you want.
Alex, when you were born, you looked like some type of, it was an animal, you had hair all over you. And it was,
Your dad's calling you an
didn't even
animal.
look like a human
It's
being.
true. That's how disgusting I looked.
Not disgusting, but you just had a lot of, you're covered in hair. And
Well, it sounds disgusting, right?
That sound disgusting. It did.
no, it wasn't disgusting. It's just very unusual.
Well, you love your baby, but he was an ugly one, right?
I was an ugly baby.
No, I thought he was just had a lot of hair on him.
That's what I like about you. You see the beauty in a lot, don't you?
I do.
He does. He does. This is the thing. My family, my dad and I, we have a lot of character. We are characters, and I think that's why we like somebody like you, Nathan. That, Nathan, I would say you're a handsome young man, but you aren't the typical, stereotypical, you wouldn't follow the stereotypical gender beauty guidelines, right? Like, would you be considered a male model? No, but I think you're a very handsome man.
No, and I mean, like, nothing stereotypically, like, nothing is gender stereotypical about me. I know that, like, it's not my choice, but it says gender fluid in my birth chart.
Did you know that? Believe it or not, I think he's lying because he wants to be famous. Nathan says he's gay. I don't believe it. I think he's a fake gay. Do you think he's a real? I think he's a Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon's a famous comedian that looks just like Nathan, that says he's gay, and they say he's faking it. I think Nathan's faking it.
I think Tim Dillon is gay. He's just sad, you know?
But you're sad too sometimes. I don't think you're gay.
I am. I struggle with male intimacy. I'm sorry for not sharing this with you sooner, Eden. I know we're sitting so close.
That's fine.
Eden, you don't mind.
don't mind.
No, we love it. Nathan's like, Nathan, listen, you're going to find a beautiful husband one day, and you're going to adopt two beautiful babies that you make in a laboratory, and I will be the
I don't know
godfather.
anything about adoption. I'm carrying those to term.
Okay, that's what I like, because you are gender fluid. Now, guys, we only have a few minutes left. I kind of want to just kind of wrap things up, though, so we can kind of put a bow on this, so we can move on down the road. I think my dad said it best. We got to look forward. So, Eden, when it comes to, I guess we said a little bit about the appeal. We filed that. What do you think? Get out of here. Get out of here. I love when my dad just gets out in the middle of a show.
Dad's
Bye.
great. He's great.
He is great. No, I love
see
my
you.
dad.
That's a
love
good
my dad.
father, everybody. That's a good father.
That's a great father.
He is a good father. He's a little too good. You know what I mean? He's a little too good of a father. And I mean that seriously. He's a helicopter dad, as they say. Nate, such a funny young man. You're going to be roasting tomorrow night against Sagan Butler. Is that correct?
The Roast Battle League, it's going to be DFW's first official battle. So it's going to be fun.
This is the first official one. What did we do 2 weeks ago?
The last 2 weeks, I think, from what I understand it, so Mike, if the commissioner sees this,
We
and I'm
like Mike
wrong-
Eaton. Yeah,
I
we
love Mike Eaton. I love Mike Eaton. Don't fucking put words in my mouth. I love Mike Eaton. But this is, I believe that the first two have kind of been building that roster, and then this one will be submitted to the league, and then the best battle, will be voted
It'll be
on.
Dallas versus Austin versus whatever.
Right. We'll join that bracket. So it's going to be fun. Roasting is really taking me some fun places.
So, Eden, you might not know this. Nathan is a great upcoming stand-up comic, but where I found him is he goes to roast, and that's a new form of comedy where comedians will go on stage and they just make fun of each other, and it's very degrading and humiliating for both comics oftentimes, but it's very funny for the audience. Yeah, it is good, and that's why the comedians like Nathan that are so self-deprecating crush it. Can you roast me and Eden? Do you have any quick roasts? I know it's hard without writing it, but roast Eden a little bit.
That's too easy.
Yeah, no, do one roast on Eden. He's too smart to. One roast.
Eden, you look old. I can't say for certain, but you look a little sad a little bit.
He's not. He's actually the most positive guy ever.
Very positive man. Well, your father permeated that.
That's true. That's
And
true.
so it's I'll just knock on your coffin if I need to.
Oh my gosh! Eden's more spry than you and I combined. What did you say in my ear, Jimmy? Another $20 super chat. What'd they say?
They said from Kleitch BBS, sometimes a loss is a win.
Is that true, Eden? How can a loss become a win?
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, me neither.
We're talking about it. We've been talking about it. This is gonna.
I have no idea. Well, I'll tell you this. This is my one example. And gosh, the jurors are just so smart. They couldn't figure out that they showed me doing a bunch of crazy stuff in front of city councils. And a lot of these videos, except for one, were done after the video that we were on trial for. And one of the narratives that I tried to create, or I tried to let the jury know, is that I used to go to meetings and I used to speak normal. I mean, I still try to, expose a politician, but I was there speaking earnestly, I guess you would say. I'm not there in a dang women's one piece. And they shut me down. And so I almost had to adopt this kind of confrontational, edgy style in order to get more attention and get my point across in a way that actually got, some, I guess, I don't know. You want to say that the clips go viral and that helps get my message out, but even more than viral, I liked it when I saw the fear in the politicians' eyes of what I was going to say, like Clay Jenkins and John Wiley Price when I go up there, because I hate when I go to these meetings, Eden, and I don't know if you've spoken at a lot of them, but even if you're speaking, most people will speak negative. We talk about negative energy. You walk in that room and you're kind of down low and everybody's looking at you. So when you feel that negative vibrational energy from them, that kind of makes me want to give it back to them. And I'm just sad. But what I'm going to do, guys, is the Dallas Morning News asked me after the outcome of this case, how is that going to change my future approach when speaking at these meetings? And I told her, you know what it's going to change? Not a damn thing. I'm about to amp it up, dog. I'm about to, these go to 11 if you've ever seen Spinal Tap. I know Nathan hasn't because he hasn't seen one movie.
I've had one.
You did have a Spinal Tap? Is that
Yeah.
true? What's the hardest drug you've ever done, Nathan?
Acid?
No, you've done LSD?
Yeah.
Is that,
I'm like, strangely enough, I'm actually pretty like psychedelically experienced.
have you ever experimented with LSD,
You
Eden?
look like you've had your boundaries torn down. What do you?
Yeah, have your boundaries been torn down, Eden, or have your boundaries...
Boundaries of positivity, those have been shredded.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So look, we're all going to take LSD tonight. That's what we're going to do. Eden, my attorney, he's not going to take any, but he's going to monitor me and make sure that I don't get arrested. So Eden, real quick, a comment on this. I know we kind of went through it. Can you show my computer? I know this is kind of weird. Do you think this, you're not a big conspiracy theorist, but is this weird that the Pope, do you think that they're going to announce his death tomorrow?
I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, but
It's going to be soon, though.
it's going to be soon. They're going to announce a new pope very soon. Habemus Papa, I think they say. We have a pope when there's a new pope.
And is it going to be a transgender Pope? What's going to be different about this Pope?
That's not a transgender pope?
No, I think this one, is this transgender, Jimmy? Jimmy is actually a theological... oh, that's another thing. Actually, let's make fun of, because we only have about 10 minutes left. I want to make fun of, show me real quick. Eden, we don't ever have any Ivy League people like yourself on the show, except for my producer, Jimmy. And he went to Princeton. Come on, Princeton's not even, is that even really an Ivy League school? New Jersey? I mean, come on. I mean, that's the armpit of America.
It's the armpit. Well, actually, I live close to there, but
Well, and we love New Jersey. I mean, I like New York, but Princeton, New Jersey, I mean, you're from there, so we like that, but...
yeah, no, Princeton, Jimmy and I had a conversation about that. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story. My dad went to Princeton.
Oh, gosh.
My older sister went to Princeton.
Wow.
My younger sister went to Princeton.
Okay.
My older sister's husband went to Princeton. And my younger sister's husband went to Princeton.
So what a fucking landmine you.
Yeah, I know.
Go Tigers!
No, but he can still make fun of Princeton because he went to Yale. So go
I
ahead.
didn't get into Princeton.
He keeps
No,
saying.
wait. So you got into Yale?
Yep. There,
But did you go to high school in Princeton, New Jersey?
No. I went in near Boston.
Wow.
Because I did have some high school issues, and Princeton wasn't very...
You must not. I had to cut you off. You must not have had that bad of high school issues. You went to Yale.
Drama school, Yale Drama School. He has a.
They didn't. Princeton. They said if you've ever had some problems, right? This was your point about Wiley Price.
Yeah.
Right? They said you had to write an essay. Have you ever been on probation or whatever? And then the essay was disclose the incident and what you've learned from it.
Okay.
And the problem was I hadn't learned a fucking thing.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
So you're retarded.
I was retarded.
Yeah.
And I love an attorney.
Look at where you are now.
And Yale didn't ask that question, so I just wrote something. I'd lived in Nepal.
Oh,
So I
wow.
wrote this essay about being in Nepal, and Yale loved it.
How did you get to Nepal? What the hell were you doing in Nepal?
Well, we talked about it. No, it wasn't nothing to do with drugs. My dad was a diplomat.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that, I think.
He was stationed in Nepal, and we went on this trek to somewhere in the mountains, and I wrote about that, and they loved it.
Oh, that's very cool. You are so worldly. That's another thing. You're almost too worldly. You know what I mean? You've almost had too many...
Otherworldly.
Otherworldly. I'm just saying
Otherworldly.
because you are so smart, and I really liked how you quoted Thomas Jefferson. You had me. You sold me.
I had you, right? At least
You
I
had
had
me.
you. I had Alex.
You had me.
That made it.
And you had Nathan. He wasn't there, but you would have had
I had
Nathan.
David.
Nathan would have been good.
I had him.
So, Nathan, we got the big roast.
I had the jury. I'm going to tell you,
You had part of the jury.
I had
but
part of the jury. I'm telling you, I was looking them in the eye. They were definitely with me, but I think the majority on the jury
was not with us.
was not. And I think what happened, here's what really happened, I think. There was a small group in the jury that definitely wanted to go for you, but they got beaten down by the others, and they didn't have the whatever, the balls, the chutzpah, whatever you want to say, to stand up for the right thing. That's what happened, I think.
That's exactly what it came down to. Okay, now as we wrap things up, Jimmy, you're going to be roasting as well on Thursday.
Yep.
So that'll be at Dallas Comedy Club. If you guys want to go hang out and see Jimmy and Nathan, they're not roasting each other, but they're roasting other people.
We will one day. It's gonna be a good
You
one.
guys need to roast soon, and you're probably going to kill Jimmy. Jimmy, what are you? Are you 1-1? You're 1-2, Jimmy?
Yes.
What is your roast record, Nathan?
I'm like 4-1. I've only won one roast.
You're 1-4.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you for yeah.
Yeah, correct. You won. You dominated the last roast that we did. That guy was like crying.
Yeah, but he also had a TBI,
What is a TBI?
traumatic brain injury.
I know. So but you did crush that guy. I didn't even know. You did beat a handicapped person, but I think it still counts as a W.
Yeah, take your wins.
Yeah, take your wins because we took an L today. All right, Eden, before we go, I just want to say this one last time. I mean this.
Keep on going. Keep on going.
No, but thank you so much. I really do not feel any hard feelings with the way you, like, I'm very proud of the work that you did. My only hard feelings are, I hate to say it, is with the jury. The Fitzwater is actually pretty good. And if I have a little hard feelings, I didn't really like the prosecution attacking my character. But you know what's funny? Is Shuaid attacking my character? I've had my character attacked by people with big followings, people with small followings. So I'm not new to having my character attacked. So I didn't really care about that. I actually wasn't embarrassed about that. What I was embarrassed, so one time I was embarrassed, it sucked that we took the L. Like, he could have assassinated my character, but if we go to 1,
Right.
it would have felt so good. I was like, who cares about my character? We won. But my character does matter. So, Eden, if somebody needs to hire you, if they need a freaking Yale, Stanford, educated, genius, Atticus Finch 2.0 attorney, how can they find you and support you, Eden?
They can find me quaintonlaw.net, quaintonlaw.com.
Is what, $25,000 of that URL?
No, it's at mine, but the long story with the admin rights got lost somehow.
Oh, God. I know the internet's a bitch.
So quaintonlaw.net, that's the best place. Or I post on Twitter sometimes. I kind of do.
Eden, what's your Twitter right now? I'm going to follow you right now. Are you kidding?
Quainton Law, and mostly just kind of stuff that gets me in trouble with like the liberal crowd. But,
well, I love that. And then, Quentin, Eden, last thing actually before, tell them, and I know you don't want to talk too much about your personal life, even though you're not a council member. Eden, this is when I was sweating bullets, and I'd met Eden before. We've, hung out. We've had dinner. He's come to the studio. I forgot that he came to the studio and we had dinner after, but Eden, we're sitting we're next to the hotel, and we're at the diner next to the hotel, and we're eating. And this is like one of the first things Eden says. Eden's like, well, we might have trouble because my wife fucking hates your guts. Do you remember that? You remember that's the first thing Eden said to me. He goes, my wife's killing me that I came here and doing this.
She's killing me. She killed me again. She was she's like, why are you doing this? And I was like, because it's the right thing to do.
Well,
she's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's free speech. And supposedly, she believes in free speech. But again, this double standard. It's not free speech when it's not for the causes that you espouse, which is the entire fucking, pardon my language, the entire point. I didn't get to swear in court. That's why I'm kind of letting it out right now.
Well, let it out. You did a great job in court. But yes, guys, the First Amendment is for us to be able to criticize elected officials. Doesn't matter if you're liberal. Doesn't matter if you're conservative. Doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. Doesn't matter if you're a Republican. So you're right. They tried to do the old rules for thee, but not for me when it comes to the county judge and the county commissioner. And they get to set their own rules and not follow the Constitution. And we learned that today. So not only am I under attack, but so are you, and so is your ability to speak freely in the county of Dallas. So be very careful, but I encourage you guys to fight, because that's what I did, that's what Eden did, that's what Nathan has to do every day because he has type 2 diabetes, so he has to fight his insulin resistance issues, but he's losing weight, and we're going to help him with that because we're going to give him medicated cocaine, so you're going to get really thin very soon. So, and you're going to feel amazing while losing weight. How does that sound?
It sounds wonderful. You just have to tell that to my PO when I don't pass the...
We'll give you... Jimmy can pee. Jimmy, that's how I pass all my drug tests. I have like a whole gallon of Jimmy's urine.
Oof. It's true.
It is true. Jimmy's taken all my drug tests for my NFL.
How does that work, actually?
Well, it's very hard because I have to get hand warmers. I have Jimmy urinate, and then I get these hand warmers, you go skiing with, and I tape it on there, and then my probation officer, when they pee, I have what's called a Whizzinator, and it's actually a fake wiener. And you put it in there, and it looks like a prosthetic penis, and then boom, my parole...
well thought out.
Very well. Are you kidding? I mean, I don't want to go to jail. I mean, listen, I'm on probation for murder, and so I don't want to go to jail for life. So thank you, Jimmy, for all your clean urine. If you guys want to see Jimmy this Thursday and my boy Steeman, Nathan Beeman at Dallas Comedy Club, and everybody needs to go to quaintonlaw.net. Leave a positive 5-star review. None of you trolls leave a negative review. Leave a positive review for the greatest attorney that I've ever had the privilege of working with. So thank you. We love you, Eden. And guys, we end the show the same way every time with a freestyle finale. So DJ, do we have any sad music?
Not really.
Let me see if I can play something sad on here real quick, because we got to end the show.
Copyright free sad music.
Okay,
just
hold on.
Google that.
Let me see if I can just... Clay Jenkins, you're a pervert. You stole those ladies' panties, and you're a stupid jerk. You ruined my life. I introduced you to my boyfriend and my wife. Or my wife's boyfriend, you know what I mean? I can't even freestyle. They took away my ability to speak freely! And they're gonna take away yours next! So be careful. I love you guys. You might not see me. This might be our last show after what happened today. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to recover. So you got what you wanted, Clay Jenkins. You won. But guess what? I'm gonna be at Commissioner's Court very soon. And you know what? The information that I bring to your court is gonna rock your world. Peace. Good night. Yeah.
I just followed you too.